Hi class. Well, today as you can see, I'm in a kitchen setting. The main reason for this is because my main topic of discussion today is an onion, or better yet, what we can do to stop crying when you're cutting an onion. It's An onion is, well, we use it in as the main ingredient as we are cooking. Most of us actually use an onion as the main ingredient when you're cooking. But the problem is we end up crying as we're cutting an onion. We love onions, but we all hate cutting them because we know we end up crying. Well, I have a few simple steps you can take in order to avoid crying when you're cutting or slicing an onion. With me, I have a knife, an onion in water, and also there's an onion here in the sink. All this are among the steps that I'm using. I've physically shown. I will physically show you like 3 to 4 of the steps. The other ones I can also explain extra ones. There are other steps you can also use which I cannot show you right now. But if you try them out, I will actually explain to you verbally. If you try them out, you'll see they actually work good. Well, the main reason why we cry when you're cutting an onion is because an onion in itself contains oil, which contains sulfur, an irritant to both our noses and to our eyes. Sulfur is inside onions, which basically affects our eyes. Cutting an onion arouses a gas contained within the onion, which is propanethiol S oxide. Propanethiol S oxide, which then couples with the enzymes in the onion to emit a passive sulfur compound. And this upwardly mobile gas encounters the water produced by the tear ducts in our eyelid. It produces sulfuric acid. In response to the caustic acid, our eyes automatically blink. Yes, blink and produce tears, which irrigate the eye and which flush out sulfuric acid. Well, I think crying is a good thing because, as you can see, crying helps to clear out the sulfuric acid which is caused by onions. So onions have sulfuric acid which enters the eye. So when you're crying, it's not a bad thing, but also you don't want to always cry when you're cutting onions. So with me, I have a few simple steps you can take, which I will show you and I'll explain to you a few simple steps you can take. The first and main step is when you're cutting an onion, always have a serrated or sharp knife. A serrated or sharp knife is very important because most of these gases and the onion juice, like the sulfuric acid that is on an onion, is in the walls of onions. And when you cut with any other knife, not a serrated knife, you break the walls, you break up the walls, and when you do that, you're damaging the onion, which is causing it to produce more sulfuric acid. That's why we end up crying, because the onion is so broken up in many pieces. You will end up crying. As you can see, like I'm slicing this onion, and you see the knife is just going straight through. It's not dilly-dallying or just going through or cutting into many pieces, just slicing it gently. This is a very good knife to use. A serrated knife is the best knife to use. It is one of the steps you need to take when you're cutting an onion. The next step is you can freeze the onion for about, let's say, 10 to 15 minutes, or if not, you can do it for 15 to 10 minutes. For me, I always use it for 15 to 20 minutes. Freeze it for 15 to 20 minutes. When you do that, the onion juice is held inside, which it's frozen inside and held together. So when you slice an onion straight from a refrigerator, it helps, because as you can see, I have an onion here. I'd put it in my refrigerator for like 15 minutes, and as you can see, I'm slicing it, gently slicing it with a serrated knife, and it's frozen. Sorry, with a serrated knife. And as we all can see, I'm even blowing the onion into my eyes, trying everything this close, but my eyes are not watery. My eyes are fine. I'm comfortable cutting the onion, which shows it's another good method for cutting an onion. Using usually the like when you freeze stuff, it holds them together, but when you're cooking, it doesn't bother the juice and all the goodness of an onion. Just when you put it in a cooker and start cooking, it will bring out all that juice, will be let out, and you'll enjoy your onion, and it will flavor your food as you need it to. The other method is having an onion water. Just dip an onion in water. When you dip an onion in water and slice it in there in the water holds the sulfuric acid inside. So the sulfuric acid doesn't just fly out, it stays in the water. And as we can see, I'm gonna slice the onion into the water, and as I'm doing it, you can see the onion, like you can see bubbles. When you do it, you can try it even at home or any other place where you can, when you get time. I just tried and slice it. You will see bubbles coming out, but they're not flowing out, they're being caught by the water. The water just holds the sulfuric acid inside, so it doesn't come into your eye. So when even you go close, you can do whatever you want close to it, you won't cry. So you'll be enjoying to cut an onion instead of the way we cry all the time. You're just enjoying cutting the onion. The other method I have, which is another simple method, is in your kitchen, because you might think dipping it in water is a cumbersome activity, like you don't want to do all that, it's way too much work. Just some cold running water is another good method for helping you out. Just turn on the water, you can start slicing the onion. And as I'm doing this, I'm also going close to the onion. And guess what? I'm not crying. This is another easy method. If you don't want to do all that, just running water and slice the onion. I'm not crying. I'm enjoying what I'm doing, cutting an onion. Alright. Then those are a few steps you can take. Then there's another thing, one other simple way. You don't have to do all this. If you don't want to do all this, like put it in water, run water and all that, you can as well wear protective goggles. Protective goggles are any kind of goggles that cover the eyes. And if you don't want to go buy some and you usually go swimming, your swimming goggles are another thing you can use to protect your eyes. Those are actually the best because they cover like every part of your eyes, and that sulfuric acid will not pop up and get into your eyes. The other thing is, as I conclude, one thing you should realize is that when you use this simple method, it's not definite, but sometimes like it might not work, it may work. But one thing I can say, it reduces the chances of you just crying around and affecting you cooking and enjoying your cooking, because some of us enjoy, like me, I enjoy cooking, but when it comes to onions, I'm just not into cutting it. But after learning this simple method, I realized that it can be enjoyable cooking and cutting onions, and as you cook you can enjoy cutting onions. And one other thing you should always know is that immediately after you finish cutting your onions, always before you do anything else, make sure you wash your hands thoroughly. Make sure you wash your hands thoroughly, because when you don't do that, all that juice and everything is still in your hands. So when you rub your eyes or touch something else, you'll end up, like if you rub your eyes, you'll end up crying again, which the main idea was to stop yourself crying when you're cutting an onion, but you end up finding yourself crying. So these are very simple but good steps for helping you to cut an onion and avoid crying. Thank you. I hope you enjoy my presentation. Thank you.